let's take this and make it that. So as the morning progresses here, but being low tide right now, we have this nice S-curve leading right out to Charles Island. It's always magical down here. So to make an abstract of these lovely colors and horizon, it's simply a matter of panning your camera while the shutter is open, as you're seeing me do here. Okay, so let's talk prep. There is a little prep that I recommend before you go out and try an abstract, and that is to level your tripod legs. Once you get your tripod legs level, you have a nice firm foundation to move forward. That said, if you're using a ball head, you're going to want to have that level too. However, I recommend you use your camera instead, and I'll go over that in a moment. Why? This part is important. By panning your camera and watching a level and making sure that it stays level across the pan. If it doesn't, then you just have to readjust your legs. Get comfortable and practice just panning your head. Now sometimes I'll go ahead and actually hold the front of the lens and go ahead and pan that way. And by doing that, I find that I get a smoother pan. But the idea here is to already begin the motion of panning your head and then hit the shutter speed. The problem is if you hit the shutter and then try to pan, you're going to lose some of the emotion and some of the motion. But by actually starting to pan, then hit the button, you're already in motion, and you take your image and you have a nice fluid flow. Now once you get this all set up, you're ready to start shooting. It's that simple. So for your camera settings, I recommend you start with a shutter of about 1 second. This duration of time is a good starting point for Seascape panning abstracts, and you can adjust from there. Now that said, and depending on your own panning techniques, you have to make split decisions to compensate for both shutter speed and aperture, depending on the effect you're creating. And this is, after all, at the heart of all the fun you can have creating these works of art. And remember, these are abstracts and are at the discretion of the artist, you. So your aperture settings will vary as the light changes. If you're shooting before sunrise or after sunset, and I do recommend, by the way, that you try this during blue hour, or you can use shutter priority and let your camera deal with the aperture settings. Just keep in mind that your aperture will most likely change continuously as the light changes, and this may alter the effect you're attempting to create. So all that said, this really is experimental fun. You're painting with light. In fact, why stop at panning? Try zooming. Here's an image I made from the same morning with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. Again, experiment with getting just the right settings to create your abstract. You can also go freehand with longer exposures and make something totally abstract. As a last thought, I recommend using or saving these techniques for when weather conditions aren't optimal. And what I mean by that is that if you're standing in front of an awe-inspiring, unfolding before your very eyes sunset with incredible visual textures, colors, tones, please, by all means, make an emotional, thought-through photograph that has meaning to you and captures what you're feeling. And save the abstracts for another day, if you know what I mean. So these are guidelines to more or less get you out there and shooting, and more importantly, enjoying the outdoors. So thanks for watching, folks. If you found value in this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and click the bell if you'd like to be notified of new videos. This greatly helps me along my new journey of building an informative and value-driven channel for photographers and beyond. My vision here is to create content that brings you, the viewer, to a place where you can breathe. You can take a break from today's toxic media frenzy. And if just for a few moments, find peace and enjoyment. So get out there, have an experience. Nature is always trying to please us.